Superstar, oh, past it, yeah. I'm waiting, I'm an Interaction session. We need interaction. Oh, host, the organizer. Hello.
Organizer, how are you?
I see you in the same building. I see the vibes. Alright.
The lighting up.
Let me remove Sabrina from my thingy. Just too much.
What are you removing?
Sabrina from my statuses. People are talking. People are asking questions.
Oh.
Welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Inspire SA. And as you all know, today is Thursday, and today is Power Thursday. Building up from last week's episode where we introduced the new Power Platform by Microsoft, we were gonna continue talking about it and learning more about it with our special guests today from last week, the Power Ninjas. That's what they call themselves. And I would just like to give them a quick welcome. As you know, we got Spane, we got Lebo, and we got Somalese as well. Welcome, guys, to this episode. How you guys doing this
But
afternoon?
we're feeling
Superb,
great.
superb.
We're feeling awesome, as always, as always.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Well, the
You know the
floor is
vibes.
the floor is all yours. Enlighten us with what
Somebody,
Power Apps has to offer.
you're on camera, man. You're on camera. We see this one.
Well, I'm so eager to the camera. You know the story, bro.
Uh,
You can never run away from the camera. You know the story.
uh,
Thank you, Narcis. Thank you, Narcis.
Awesome.
Guys. You know it's Thursday. You know how we roll. What a good intro, Samayo mood over there. you know. So guys, yeah. Welcome to Power Thursday. It's your boy Yasbani. With my two mates, Power Ninjas from South Africa, Someleze and Lebo. We're hitting up things now. We're going step by step. We're giving you new things. That will surely you guys take into consideration when doing your apps. Today we will be doing something simple, storing your data and displaying. You're using Power Apps with SharePoint. Some of you might ask, what is SharePoint? Remember last week we talked about data sources. So SharePoint is part of the Microsoft Power Platform data sources. So we're going to be using that today in order for you to demonstrate how exactly Power Platforms work and how robust they are. And remember that Power Platforms, they are data model driven. So it's part of that. We're giving us cool stuff, something that you can learn at any time. My ninjas here can actually elaborate more, but before they do that, I'm just gonna go deep a bit, in trying to understand you guys. And please do not forget to follow the comment section, ask questions there. Ask questions there, so that we can actually get the insights of what you guys understand and where you are left out. The comment section will all be yours right after we start the show fully with demonstrations from my colleagues here. And guys, again, Power Platforms it's just a new way to go now. Slowly but surely, some of you will get to know it and understand it. But guys, what can I say? Stay tuned to the show, enjoy it, ask questions, and give us feedback on how exactly we should approach in terms of individual understanding. And also, don't forget to follow the channel, subscribe to it, so that you can get notifications to the video. Guys, I think Labo will just go through it, demonstrating how to create SharePoint, how it goes, and how you can exactly use SharePoint in your daily life basis. Even if you're not using Power Apps, but SharePoint will always be there, and it's a great data source. Labo, my brother. Ithini sama yomuthi lapha, ithini sama yomuthi.
Oh, thank you, Spani, for the lovely intro as always. Anyways, yeah, guys. SharePoint is a lovely data source. Deep in the code, thinking about databases. It's a lovely data source, as Spani said. It's one of many data sources actually. You can use SQL. You can use a lot of other data sources. Anyways, what is SharePoint? I don't want to. The thing is, I don't want to get too deep into the theory. I don't want to bore you guys, But I'll just give it a brief explanation. SharePoint is a data source, and it's used by organizations to share information and data and files in between the organization and the workers and such. They use SharePoint to make sites, and within those sites you can share things. Okay, let me just share my screen real quick, and then I can kick it off. Can you see my screen, Tico? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see
Hello?
your screen, my brother.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. So this is just the environment for SharePoint, and as you can see, this part says news from sites, and it's just as I said, organizations or just people that use SharePoint use it to share information, files, and just anything in SharePoint. It makes it easier. Let me just start off by just making. Actually, let me just. I already have a SharePoint list. Today we'll be making a SharePoint list, and then the, like the Power App that we'll be making today, we'll be using the SharePoint list as a data source. How do I say? As a place where it can store its list and what's not there and all that jazz. The recent. I have a few lists here. My network is a bit slow today. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. You'll have to bear with me. Rain does its things now and then, so yeah. Oh, I feel like I should just make a new one because this is taking forever. So if you were to create a site, you just click create on site. And then you have two types of sites. I don't think I need to explain this because it's already explained in the platform itself. A team site, there are two different sites, right? There's a team site, a communication site. Oh, hell, my network is acting up. Okay, yeah, so it's a team site and a communication site. A team site is where you just share documents. Everything is shared. What is this thing is acting up right now today? I don't know what's going on.
You know,
Please bear with me, guys. Yeah.
yeah, you know, there's this other time I was trying to create a SharePoint site at some point for remember the app I showed you this other time? So it actually gave me the same problem. I
Yeah.
don't know how I actually did the workaround. I think they're trying to update SharePoint in a sense. So now it gives people a big problem whenever they try to create a site.
Alright, that's fine. We can bear with it. Or we can just go back to our old sites.
So this is the new version of
Sorry, guys, just
SharePoint.
please bear with me. We're having some technical. It's constantly updated and just improved. So yeah, it's literally the same. It looks the same, but there are like minor updates that you wouldn't notice if you just took a look at it at first sight.
Noted.
I don't know. It's just acting out, but bear with me, guys. So yeah, you go here. What a mess.
Lebo, can you try resharing your screen
But I
again
think
because I think it's frozen.
I think it's my network. Honestly, I think it's my network. It's really just my network at this point.
No problem. It happens. Technology can fail us.
We have. I'll just use an old list and then rename the columns if that's okay. What do you guys think?
I think that's the best way to proceed.
Because now it's just giving me problems. Yeah. So this is the list that we created in SharePoint. If I would like to show you guys how you go about to create a list, but then as you can see, I'm having technical problems, and the network is giving me issues. But like, if you already created a list and you want to add team members or people that you'll be collaborating, you can just go here. You click on this button, the members, and it gives you a group membership. You can then add or remove a member. As you can see, I only have me and Somaleza here, and we're both owners for the list or that site. I'll add Spani since he'll also be working with us today. I'll just add Spani. And then I'll make him an owner so that he can make changes to our list. Anyways, so now all we'll do next is we'll add the columns that we will needing in our app, our Power App, so that when Deco or Someleze makes the fields and wants to send the data to store in the SharePoint or in the list, it correlates. You know, it vibes together in such. So Deco, what fields will you be needing so I can just add them? If you can tell me, that would be cool.
Yeah, so right, you have the column for name, you have the column for surname, because what we're trying to do today is just show people how to actually create a very simple basic app where they can be able to store their details. For an example, their name, their surname, and let's say age, for an example, their university.
I'll just make a single line, or if you want it to be a number, because that'll be
no, make it a single line.
Yeah, it's just to be set a single line. I'll just add age. What? Oh, thank God. The platform is giving problems today, right? What other column would you?
Are you still there? You can still hear us, right?
I can hear you guys. Don't worry, I can hear you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Add university.
I'll just add university. Oh, guys, as you can see, when you're adding a column, you just click on add column. I didn't explain that because I felt like it was self-explanatory. If you're at this point, you can just see everything. Add column, column settings. If you want to either hide a column or edit it, this is where you go. And that's just as much as you can go about. You can talk about when talking about columns. Okay, university. What's next?
Add campus.
Okay, add campus.
And then the last one you will add be gender. So for today, if you're adding a column for gender, today we're only going to use single line text for simplicity sake, because there's another option in SharePoint where you can use a column type of choice. Yeah.
That's a different way, and you don't want to get too deep on this whole thing. We're taking it week by week, session by session. The level will keep increasing, as I said last week. We will take you guys or regard you guys on a higher standard the more deeper we get into the sessions or the explanations of the roles. Yeah. Tico, I think that's it when it comes.
That would be it.
Yeah, because in SharePoint, you don't save anything. It's just when you add it, it's saved. It's all automatic. It's all on the cloud, if you may add. It's all in the servers. Anyways, that's it from my part, the PowerPoint parts, the SharePoint parts. Yeah. When you started giving me problems, my head was just all over the place. But yeah. I'll just stop sharing, guys, and Deco will take it from there. I would, if you wanted the easier way, let me just conclusion or whatever on my part or SharePoint part. If you wanted to create an app in an easier way, a faster way, you would just click here, right? Create an app, and then it will just customize everything for you. It's just another page where it just makes the app for you. But then since we're taking you guys step by step and we want you to understand perhaps in a more deeper level, we're going to be teaching you guys how to make the app on your side. You make the app manually yourself, the pages, everything, because then this generates the pages for you. It's like what is this? Dico, what is this word? What is this thing? And you see when you click it and it makes that delete add pages for you. Yeah, it's scaffold. It's like scaffold. It's like scaffolding basically. You just press it, it scaffolds all the pages for you. You have your add, display, delete, and edit pages. And we don't want to take the easy route for you guys. We just want to just give you guys a more deeper understanding. Yeah. Let me just not waste more time. Let's get practical. Yeah.
Okay. So the question is, so if I say create an app, does it create any functionality in the app, or I have to do it by myself?
As I said, it's like scaffolding, right? So the functionality would be editing, adding. You just add on your columns. You can delete stuff from your columns if you did that. That's the functionalities.
Oh.
It's the crude: create, read, update, and delete. Those are the functionalities that you have on the app.
Oh, noted. That's actually good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good stuff. It's dope stuff. Because if you want to create apps using code and the other platforms, the code platforms, that takes forever. That takes forever, and there's so many complications. But PowerApps is it's straightforward. Everything's already here for you. The guys from Microsoft, the geniuses, they just make things, straightforward. Yeah, I swim for the Power guys. Don't lie to you guys. I swim for them because this is a great platform.
Awesome.
It's more exciting. It's more exciting than it. The deeper you go, the more you see these things, the more it just pulls you in. Just pulls you in, and you want to make more apps and more fun apps. Yeah.
I'm already hooked.
Dico, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and you can take it away. No?
Yeah. So before I carry on, Nasis, or one of you guys, can you try sharing the link to this meeting, even though it's a private meeting? Try sharing the link of this meeting, the Teams link, because usually when we speaking or when we're trying to advertise and market the session and people want to join, they're not able to join. Some people use YouTube Go. So if they use at least the Teams link, probably they'll be able to join the Teams meeting. It's just that now the biggest problem is them being muted. So you'd have to mute them all.
Okay, no problem. Remember, where must you share it?
Just share it in your statuses if needs be.
No problem.
Yeah. So before I carry on, Narcissus asked this question about functionality when you create an app on from SharePoint itself. So as functionality goes, what it does is just gives you 3 screens, like Ebu mentioned, in which it gives you the screen to be able to edit or create or add information, the screen to display your information, and if I'm not mistaken, the screen to delete it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
yeah.
Like Spani said, we had a wonderful intro today, and honestly, that song top tier if people say so. So I'm sharing my screen.
Top tier.
Yeah, whichever word it is, So yeah. So I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully, you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, it's quite clear.
So today, yeah, okay. Thanks, man. So today we're creating a Canvas app from blank, just like we did last week. But what we're doing today is to add on to the information we gave you guys last week. We want to take baby steps in building something and actually get you guys to actually understand what goes into making apps on PowerApps, right? So I'm gonna click on Canvas app from blank, right? It's the environment itself. I explained it last week, and we go on create to create an app. So we are gonna choose Canvas app from blank.
So we're creating a new app. We're not building from last week.
Yeah, we create the one from last week. It was just a demo to show how it would look like, in a sense. We're not creating it from the one from last week because the one from last week did not use a data source, but today's session we're using a data source which is SharePoint, and it's a different app, so it uses a data source, right? That one has no data source. It's not able to send information to a data source.
Noted.
Yeah. So my most favorite format that I usually use is the phone format. So it's up to you guys what you guys want to use. I will give this app a name, a new name. So I will just name it session 2. I won't say app. And then I'll click on create. Right. So as it's creating, what is the basic structure that we're following today? We are looking at having an application that is able to send information to a data source, because we have a data source as SharePoint, and you saw what Lebo was doing with SharePoint. We can show you guys how to actually work with the list that is created on SharePoint, right, using PowerApps. So if you're wondering how do you know how your regular apps that you used to, you're wondering how do they work, how do they have my information, how do they store information? So in a similar way, we're trying to show you the same thing, but using PowerApps, and we're not using any code, right? No code at all. It's just small basic stuff that you can use, and most especially people who are familiar with what do we call this, Excel, right? So we have our blank screen. Let's just get right onto it. So we have our blank screen, and today what do we want to do? We want to have a screen that is able to take information from our user or from people who are using the app, called users. I don't want to use the tech slang too much because sometimes people get lost with the tech slang. So right now it's just blank. What I normally do whenever I create an application before I jump into making it beautiful and everything is that, most especially if I'm creating an application that I know we're going to use a data source. So I quickly connect the data source to this environment or to the Power App Studio, this environment that you're looking at the screen, right? So how do we do that? So on the left-hand side of the screen, you're looking at, or you're looking for a cylinder, right? If I can call it that. And when you hover over it, it says data. So it means that that's where you get your information, your data from. So you have to click on it, right? And it tells you that there's no data in your app. So we're trying to pull in information, and we have to tell it where to fetch that information. We know where it is, right? So let's click on add data. We need data. All the connectors that are there on Power Apps or that are supported by Power Apps, you can see that there's a lot of them. You can see that Excel is supported. You can see that Gmail is supported. You can see Microsoft Teams is there. You can also see that you can be able to use notifications. You can use Outlook as well. So what we're looking for is SharePoint, right? And our information or our list or data source is SharePoint. So once you found SharePoint, when you're scrolling down, and if you don't find it while scrolling down, you can use that search function there and search for SharePoint. So you click on SharePoint. But so Melissa, you said we are connecting to a list that was created in SharePoint. So why are you looking for SharePoint? Let me answer that question. That question entails into, you cannot say you're connecting data, or you're connecting to data, which is a list, right? A list in SharePoint. So you have to know that the list is inside SharePoint. So you have to connect to SharePoint first before you connect to the list that you're looking for.
So Malese?
Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you, buddy. The audience is asking for a Zoom.
A zoom in?
Yes, please.
A zoom in the screen or
Yeah,
the zoom in on the screen, the blank screen that's there.
just zoom in a bit because what you're seeing is kind of blurry. The writing's a bit small.
The app.
Let's,
No, not the screen. Not the screen. They
okay, can you
connected to the
see?
app.
The app, screen of the app.
No, no. Oh, no, don't worry. I'm still gonna get to that. We're still trying to
Oh,
connect data. We're not doing anything. We haven't touched anything that regards to the app, right?
good
Hmm.
stuff. Good stuff.
So here's what we're doing. We're adding data in which, we look for SharePoint, right? As I was saying, for us to connect to the list that's in SharePoint, we have to connect to SharePoint first. So you add your connection after you found SharePoint, you click on SharePoint, it'll load, and then on the right-hand screen, on the right hand of your screen, it'll ask you to connect to a SharePoint site. I'm talking about a SharePoint site now. What SharePoint site are we talking about now, right? Remember the SharePoint sites that Lebo was talking about in SharePoint? That's what we're trying to connect to, right? Because our list is not just floating around SharePoint, but the list is inside a site. You can see I have different sites. So this entails or talks to whenever you're working in a team or in an organization where they're using SharePoint a lot and they have different sites. For I want you to create a Power App using a SharePoint list, right? So you have to know where the SharePoint list is in. So the site that Lebo shared with me was called Task Manager. Lebo, am I right or am I right?
Of course, yes. Task manager.
Yeah. So I'm gonna choose Task Manager as my SharePoint site. That's the step. That's the first step or second step to go through whenever you're connecting to your list. Firstly, you connect to SharePoint, right, as a connector. Once you've connected to SharePoint, you go inside, you look for the SharePoint site that your list is under or is in, and then you click on it. And then after that, it gives you the option to choose the list that you want to connect to or you want your app to connect to. So I think I remember. Yeah, I
It's
think I
Georgie
remember.
Sim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I laughed it off on when I saw it. So once you've found, because it gives you different names of your SharePoint lists if you have different lists in your SharePoint site. So once you have the name or you can see the name of that list, you can select it. And again, if your app is speaking to two or more or one or more SharePoint lists in the same site, you can choose all of those lists that you will require your app to connect to. So for this session, we're connecting to Georgie Simp. I don't know why it's Georgie Simp, but it's Georgie Simp. And then you click on connect, right? You click on connect, and then that way SharePoint or PowerApps will connect to SharePoint. And then if you go back to the right-hand side of the screen, you will see your SharePoint list listed under the data tab or under that cylinder that I said you should click on when you're looking for it. Okay, we've connected to SharePoint. That's done. Okay, now let's get back to making the app right now. So let's go. So on the very same left-hand side of the screen, you look for tree view. That's normally where you find your screens, and then you click on tree view, and then you'll find your screens. So let me zoom in quickly. Can you guys see or what's going on?
I'd say it's still a bit
Still
too
blurry.
small. Yeah, that's much
Again.
better.
Okay, so once you have a blank screen, that blank screen tells you or gives you or asks you or gives you a suggestion on what to do on the blank screen. Right now it's saying add an item from the inside pane or connect to data, right? If you click on connect to data, it'll ask you which data you want to connect to. And we already know that we have put our SharePoint list inside the App Studio or inside the app that we're trying to make. But let's not go through that route. right now. I said we want to have a screen that takes in information from people. Hopefully it won't take me too long, or it doesn't, but yeah, because it'll what I'm about to do speaks to what I did last week, in which you saw me inserting labels, inserting text boxes and stuff, right? Okay, let's carry on. It says add an item from the insert pane. So that's the option I will take, which is I'm going to straight up and then I will click on insert, and I want to insert some sort of headers to make it look like an actual app, right? So what I'm going to do is quickly look for icons. So under icons, you have different types of icons that are there. You have the add sign, the cancel icon, the edit icon. I'm not going to cover all of them because whatever icon that you want to use in your app, you will find it there. So I'm going to scroll down and I am looking for a rectangle. Why a rectangle, Samuel? Just, you know, just for fun, to make it look nice, right? So I click on rectangle, I add a rectangle, I drag it to the top, right? And then I make that. So now you can see that our app kind of looks better than it having just a blank screen, right? It looks better. So what do we want there? First, let me put a label on our rectangle. I'm not going to change the color. I don't want to be wasting more time changing colors and whatnot. So I'm going to add a label on top of that rectangle so that we can have a label for our screen. And I will drag it inside properly. And then I will change the text of the label. I can change it on the right-hand side, or I can change it at the formula bar, right? It's up to me, and it's up to you what you want to do. So I will change it to register, if I may say, or let's say add information, right? Add information, right? That's what we're gonna have it as. And then we can have the font color. We have all these options to change the font color, the font size, the alignment of the text, the font weight on the right hand pane where you find the properties of that control or label. So I will make it white. So I can look better, and then quickly make it a bit bold. Not a bit, quite bold. It has to be bold. This is a bold session, so we need things that are bold. And then I'm gonna align it to center. Then I will leave it like that. Just leave it like that. Right? We have our screen. It kind of looks proper now. So let's go through what we were doing last week, and then we'll have a smaller spice there for our session, right? On the button. That's what I'm looking forward to showing. Right? I'm gonna add a label again and drag it on the screen here. I won't resize it, just change the text. We had label first name, right? We had first name, and then I will add a text input where it will take the first name or the value of the first name. And then we had, let me add another label. Yay, this is so fun, awesome. We change the text, we make it last name, right? That's awesome. Then for last name, also add a text input.
It's surname. Same difference, but yeah, for the vibes. Tico, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Can you see my screen?
Of course, we can see a screen.
Yeah. Okay. I was worried for a second there. I thought it dropped you guys. Okay. So, what other part? I'm gonna add another label. Just go through the smaller context. It was age, if I'm not mistaken, and then I'll add the text input for age as well. Let's do this, and then I think we had varsity or university. Oh, by the way, did you know that varsity is different if you're in the state? If you say varsity, it's a kind of different. It has a kind of different meaning to what we use it for in South Africa.
I didn't know
If
that.
you knew that. I actually used it at some point. I was like, yeah, at varsity, and then they were like, what? You go to varsity college or something? And I'm like, oh, I don't know what they usually call it, but it's in the same line as varsity or varsity college. I'm like, what? And then it's like, oh no, did you mean uni? And I'm like, oh yeah, uni.
Oh man, international speaker, we hear you.
I think they use college. I think they use college. That side.
They use college. They also use they
Uni.
use uni and varsity. Varsity is a different
But
kind of institution.
Oh, noted.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm done adding most of the text inputs. Oh my God. I'm done adding most of the text input. Hopefully, let me just move it there so I can put the button properly. You know, I put them all over the screen. Now I don't have a place to put my button. Let's add a button without wasting time. There's our button there. So what I'm trying to show you is how to save the information into SharePoint, the information that we'll take in this text inputs, right? So I will change the name of the button to save, right? Okay. Firstly, get rid of that. Get rid of that as well. We get rid of this. And then we get rid of that again.
Can't you hold shift and erase everything from the property panel?
Well, I haven't tried that, and I don't want to try it. And it does something.
That's a thought for thought. To try next time.
Okay, so I am here on the button. So Someleze, how do you save information to SharePoint? I'm about to show you a trick that I actually usually use whenever I'm creating apps in PowerApps and using SharePoint or any other data source. Is it a function or a formula called patch? Patch is used to update information on your data source. Most of the times, if you already have information in your data source and you like SharePoint and you want to update a certain column in that the information you have, you use patch. But I use it to upload information or new information. How do I do that? I usually use it for that, to upload new information, not to update. Instead, it updates the whole list with new information. So what do I mean? I mean it adds whatever information we get from these text boxes, it adds them. It adds, let's say Someleze, it will add all my information. And then if Narcis uses the app, it will add his information. And after Someleze, it will not update Someleze's information and change it to Narcis. No. So let me stop blabbing. Let's carry on. So how do you use patch? You call the function patch, right? And then you open brackets. They are very, very important to remember the brackets and how you use them in any place in SharePoint, not in SharePoint, in Excel, in any way that you use a formula by and it uses that function uses brackets. So patch asks us for a source, right? Which source do we want to patch information to? Right now, we're given the option Georgie Sim. How did it know? It's because we connected our Power App to SharePoint, and in SharePoint, we connected it to our SharePoint list called GeorgieSim. So if you're using or if you're creating an app and you have a SharePoint list that you want to patch to, that the name of that SharePoint list will go as your source whenever you're using the patch function, right? So for me to be able to add information over and over again instead of updating information that's already there, what do I have to do on patch? So what you do is to say defaults. Use the function called defaults. What defaults means, it means that if I'm not too far off with the explanation, it means that in that source or data source that you're trying to patch information into, you are trying to add new information instead of updating existing information. Hopefully it's clear, right? So defaults also is looking for a source, and that source that you want to patch information to has to be the same from patch and to defaults. You cannot have different data sources or different sources that you want to use in the patch function, right? So I add George's simp again. I don't know why he's a simp, but anyways, let's carry on. So for most people who are used to this, probably they'll think it's coding, but it's not. So to carry on, what are you adding? What information are you adding into that data source, the data source that you have? What information are you adding, and where in that list? Where exactly in that list? So which columns are you adding the information into, or which columns are you updating? So here's how you call your columns. So you open curly brackets, right? You open and close curly brackets, and then if you remember the names of your list or the name of your columns in your list, then it will be easier for you. But if you don't, you can always have a comparison between SharePoint. Like you can add a tab and then you look at SharePoint and look at the columns that you have. So right now, I think, what did you call the name of for the first name, the column? What did you call it?
Call it column name column.
Okay, so I'm gonna say name, right? It'll give me options, but it's not showing name column here, but hopefully Lebo is right. So mind you, when I was carrying on here and I was adding those text boxes, I did not rename them to correspond to what they take. So I don't want to waste time to be renaming them. I showed you guys this last week. So I'm just gonna quickly look at this. So it's text input 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for name, we're taking from the text input for name. So we're gonna say text input dot text. We're not taking the control and adding it as information to SharePoint, but we're taking the text in the text input, which means what you see here means that we called the wrong column. Oh yes, no, wait. Text input 1. I forgot the 1. My bad. Sorry guys. Live demos, it happens. And then which other column do you want to do this for? We have 5 columns, right? So you have to carry on. And then I think we had surname. You always have columns after the name of the column. And then you say text input, the one that corresponds to the text input taking the surname, which is text input 2 dot text. And then you close your curly bracket, and then you do the same. So what I'm gonna do, I don't want to waste time. I'm just gonna copy this. Every dev knows this trick. If you're doing something that's similar for everything, just copy and then you paste, and then you change the name. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was worried there. And then let me change there. It's text input 3, and then I do this again, and I change it to university, if I'm not mistaken. And then it was text input 4, and is it 4? Is it? Yes. And then I do this, and then I say campus. Right? I say campus, and it's text input 5, right? And then you close the opened round bracket, or the brackets that are round. Yeah, I know it's the same thing. I said the same thing. The opened brackets for patch. You close that function patch, and then you have it, and it's fine. I think I forgot one column, or one text box for a certain column, but I'll just let it be. Okay, let's play this and see if it really saves information. So before I do that, I wanna quickly open up SharePoint while we playing the app. So I will open SharePoint in a new tab, and then I come back to our app, and I click play. Right? Click play. There's the screen that we have for our app: first name, last name, age, university, campus. So first name will be Someleze, or Someleze Digo. I'm age, how old am I? I'm 15. Yeah. I'm from DUT. I won't write the full name, and I'm from Ritson, right? Then I click save. It will load to save it, but because I did not redirect it to a different screen, so it won't do anything. It'll just, you click save, hopefully it saved the information to SharePoint, right? Let me click X. Oh, we have an error. Probably didn't save. What happened? What's going on? What is the error, right? Let's see. We forgot title. So title is a required field in SharePoint, in which that is the column that you had as name column label, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to use its original name called title. Label had already renamed it to name column. So that's the reason why it gave us a problem. So let's run this again. So I have my first name, Someleze Digo. I'm 15. Yes, I'm 15 if you don't believe me. And I click on save, right? Thing to show that it's trying to save, and then it's saving.
Save right now. Yes.
Yeah, so I click X, and then let's go to where I was trying to open SharePoint and click on my account. I probably have wasted a lot of time for Sibani to actually come in and show you something that we wanted, but hopefully we can.
It actually saved.
Let's go to Task Manager site, right? We are going to check if it really saved. It saved the information that we were putting in from our from our Power App. So the name of the list, we're looking for the name of the list, which is George's Simp. As it's loading the list, hopefully it saved. Oh yeah, gee, there's the name. Someleze Digo, age 15, he's from DUT Ritson campus. I forgot to add a component and a patch function for gender, but you know, you saw what I was trying to do. So that is how you save information on Power Apps, if you want to do it manually yourself, instead of having Power Apps do it for you and having something that's already created for you. Sometimes it's just too much. So I don't know, Sibani, are you ready? Sibani will let me.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
To make things easier, should I just quickly add a screen for you?
Yeah, you can add a blank screen.
Oh, okay. Let me quickly add a new screen here, and then I'm just gonna say, I don't know. Should I add a blank screen, or
Yeah,
a
blank.
list?
Blank.
What's the blank screen?
You're too
Okay.
fast over there, Somalese. Can you take it step by step?
No,
It's gonna save time.
which part?
To add the blank screen.
I showed it last week. So what you do when you add a blank screen, right? You go on insert, how you normally use Word. You go on insert, and then when you in insert, it gives you different options on what you want to insert, and then you choose new screen, and then it will give you different screens that it thinks that you'd like to add. It's either you'd like to add blank screens or scrollable blank screens or a list screen or a form, right? So Sbani chose a blank screen. I would have chosen differently, but we do things differently. So let me quickly I'm gonna save this quickly. So again, I don't wanna be too fast.
Nico,
Yeah.
does it have permission? Like
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to click on File, and then I will save the app as session 2. Click on Save, right? When I click on Save, it will save to PowerApps. And then after that, it will ask me whether do I want to share this or do I want to publish it. So I'm going to quickly click on Share so that Sbani can have rights to the app. I don't know if you'll be able to quickly see it on the PowerApps environment or you will see it in your emails, but so
I think it should appear on both.
Between the two. So once I've clicked on share, it takes me to a different screen where I'll be able to share the app with any of my colleagues, where I can enter their name or I can enter their email. So I am looking for Sbani. There he is. I can make him co-owner. In this case, I have to make him co-owner so that he can be able to edit the app, right? But he can't delete it and change the owner. I don't know, Lebo, do you want it?
oh, just for the vibes. Just for the vibes.
It makes collaboration so easy.
Yeah, it does. And then I click on share.
Why am I a user?
Because of time.
If that's how you're gonna play.
Because of time. So I've shared the app with Sbani. So I have to Sbani, you can. What's going on now?
Let me refresh to see if I have access to the app.
Wait, I need to close this first, and then you can try opening it on your side so that it doesn't give you problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, that's how you save information to SharePoint using PowerApps. You can use the patch functions. Some people use different functions for it. You can see the information that we put on the app. It reflects on our list in SharePoint, right? So I'm a quick sharing screen so that Sbani can go. So far, how's everything?
Everything so far so good.
Yeah, we can get extra 5 minutes. No? So that
what's the comment section saying on YouTube?
Only compliments after compliments after compliments.
Thank you.
Tori says, I never thought low code could be so cool.
That's awesome.
I may continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys, I don't know if my screen is visible to everyone.
We can see it. It can see it.
Okay. As my colleague Dico has said that he shared an app on PowerApps, which is session 2. It has reflected on my side.